The Galactic Confrontation. Introduction. In a distant corner of the galaxy, the Grand Hall of the Galactic Empire's council chamber was abuzz with anticipation. The room, a masterpiece of alien architecture, was filled with delegates from various species, each representing a different world. The air was thick with tension as Ambassador Zara Lumen, the human representative, prepared to address the council. The warning. Ambassador Zara Lumen stepped forward, her stride confident and deliberate. She wore the simple yet dignified attire of her position, her gaze unwavering as she took in the sea of alien eyes and sensory organs focused on her. The room fell silent, awaiting her words. High Chancellor Orion Valtor, she began, her voice steady and firm. I am here today to deliver a message from humanity. It is a message of warning, one that will determine the fate of your empire. High Chancellor Valtor, a towering figure draped in dark robes, sneered at her. And what grand pronouncement does humanity bring to our esteemed assembly today? His voice dripped with condescension, echoing through the chamber. Zara's expression remained calm. This is your final warning: withdraw from our territories, release your hold on human colonies, and respect the autonomy of our people. If you do not, you will face consequences unlike any you have ever encountered. The council erupted into a mixture of amusement and disbelief. A council member from the insectoid Cellari clicked his mandibles in mock laughter, while a crystalline being from the icy worlds of Cryon emitted a series of flickering lights that suggested amusement. However, amidst the mockery, a few figures shifted uneasily, their eyes narrowing as they assessed the human ambassador with newfound interest. The Empire's response. High Chancellor Valtor leaned forward, his golden scales glinting under the lights. Consequences, human? Do you think we are intimidated by your threats? The Galactic Empire spans the known universe. Our fleets number in the tens of thousands. We have crushed rebellions on worlds your kind has never even heard of. What could Earth, a single planet with a handful of colonies, possibly do to concern us? Zara allowed a small, cold smile to play on her lips. You assume much, High Chancellor. You assume that humanity is as you've always seen us, weak, fragmented, insignificant. But times have changed. Humanity has changed. Her words hung in the air, heavier than the council had anticipated. A stillness fell over the assembly as her voice resonated through the grand chamber, reaching every corner. Even the mocking Cellari delegate fell silent, its mandibles clicking uncertainly. Zara continued, her voice growing firmer with each word. For years, we have watched as you expanded your empire, consuming world after world, leaving ruin in your wake. We've seen the devastation wrought on entire species, cultures erased, ecosystems dismantled for your resources. But we are not here to submit, to ask for your mercy, or beg for protection. We are here to end the reign of fear you've cast across the stars. Chancellor Valtor's expression twisted into one of barely contained anger. You speak as though you could challenge us. Tell me, human, what force does Earth possess that would make you so bold? What delusions of grandeur have filled your minds that you would dare address us in this manner? Zara took a slow, deliberate breath, her gaze fixed on the High Chancellor. Your fleets are vast, yes. Your technology is formidable. But you underestimate humanity's will, our resolve to fight for our freedom. We have learned, we have adapted, and we have prepared. From somewhere within the assembly, a voice muttered, prepared for what? Suicide? Zara's gaze flicked in the direction of the voice, unflinching. Prepared to defend our people at any cost. We may be fewer in number, but we are no less determined. And if you push us further, if you force us into a corner, the losses will be far greater than you expect, for both sides. A tense silence settled over the chamber, the amusement gone, replaced by something darker and more profound. For the first time, some of the council members looked to each other with an edge of doubt, a glimmer of concern flickering in their eyes. High Chancellor Valtor's voice dropped to a dangerous murmur. You speak of costs and losses as though you have the power to impose them upon us. Know this, Ambassador Lumen, humanity's time is fleeting. Your kind is fragile, easy to subdue, and easier still to crush. We have tolerated your presence in our domain out of indifference, nothing more. Zara met his glare undaunted. Then consider this a shift from your indifference. If you value the worlds under your rule, if you wish to preserve them, then heed this warning: withdraw from our territories, return what you have taken, or you will see a side of humanity you cannot anticipate. This is not a threat, Chancellor. It's a promise. A murmur of dissent rose but was met with a chilling silence as Zara's words reverberated through the hall. Her gaze swept over the delegates, landing on each alien face with a steely resolve, unwavering in her stance. For a long moment, no one spoke. The council seemed frozen in the grip of something they did not entirely understand, a sense of foreboding, perhaps, or the realization that they had crossed a line they could not uncross. Finally, Valtor, his expression unreadable, waved a dismissive hand. We will consider your request, Ambassador. But do not hold your breath. The Galactic Empire does not bow to threats from upstarts. Zara offered a curt nod, not expecting a different response. She turned, her final words ringing in the silent chamber as she strode away. Remember my words, Chancellor. This is the only warning you will receive. The next time we meet, it will not be in peace. As she exited, the council members exchanged uneasy glances, the weight of her warning settling in the room long after she had left. In the heart of a distant asteroid field, hidden from the eyes and sensors of the Galactic Empire, a sprawling military command base buzzed with activity. Known as Fortress Alpha, this covert facility had been meticulously constructed over decades, concealed within the asteroid belts. Its maze-like corridors were fortified with cutting-edge technology, serving as humanity's command center, the hub from which they would orchestrate their most ambitious plan yet. Fleet Admiral Kieran Slade stood before a massive holographic display, his dark eyes scanning the shifting stars and markers on the galactic map. At his side was Commander Ava Moreno, a seasoned tactician with a reputation for unconventional strategies. Together, they had spearheaded humanity's secret preparations for the day they would finally confront the Empire. Admiral Slade's expression was serious, his usual calm replaced by an electric intensity as the enormity of the task ahead settled on him. Commander Moreno, he said, his voice low but resonant, we are officially past the point of no return. Ambassador Lumen's ultimatum has been delivered. If the Empire doesn't withdraw, we go forward with Project Inferno. Ava nodded, her face hard with resolve. The council laughed in her face, sir. They don't think we're capable of even posing a threat. As far as they're concerned, we're just another species to be conquered. They'll never see what's coming. Slade nodded, his gaze unwavering. That's exactly what we've counted on. Let them mock us. Their arrogance is our greatest advantage. They both turned to the display, which showed the Galactic Empire's expansive territories with a series of red markers illuminating key military installations, supply depots, and fleet bases. Each red marker represented a target carefully selected after years of intelligence gathering, espionage, and covert planning. Let's review the initial strike, Slade said, gesturing to one of the holographic markers glowing ominously. The image zoomed in, revealing an Empire weapons facility on Traxxas Prime, a heavily fortified outpost that supplied a significant portion of the Empire's fleets. The Empire believes Traxxas Prime is unassailable, Ava remarked, her voice laced with a hint of satisfaction. Their fleet there is massive, and their defense grid is state-of-the-art. They've concentrated so many resources on protecting it that they've left other key points vulnerable. Slade grinned slightly. Precisely. We won't be attacking their defenses head-on. We hit them where they least expect it, from within. Ava's eyes glinted as she pulled up additional schematics on the display. Our operatives have been positioned within the Empire's territories for years, some even working within Empire facilities, maintaining their cover at great personal risk. These sleeper agents have been crucial to gathering intelligence and sabotaging the Empire's systems. Now, with Project Inferno, we're ready to mobilize them. A message alert blinked on the display, and Slade activated it with a wave of his hand. The holographic face of Major Liam Reed appeared, leader of one of humanity's most elite covert units stationed deep within Empire space. Major Reed, Slade greeted, "Is your team prepared?" "Affirmative, Admiral," Reed's voice was cool and confident. "Our operatives at Traxxas Prime are in place, awaiting the go-ahead. Once activated, they'll neutralize the defense grid and disrupt communications. The moment the lights go out, our strike team will hit the ground running." "Good," Slade replied. "Remember, you're not alone out there. Other units are standing by across the Empire's sectors, ready to sow chaos and confusion. Our first strike has to be flawless. We're counting on you and your team." Major Reed nodded solemnly. "Understood, sir. We won't let." The Shadow Alliance. Introduction. In the shadows of the galaxy, where the light of the stars barely reached, a clandestine meeting was underway. Captain Lyra Flynn, a seasoned operative known for her cunning and bravery, stood at the center of a dimly lit chamber. The room was hidden deep within a neutral planet's underground, far from the prying eyes of the Galactic Empire. Lyra was not alone. She was joined by Senator Cale Jensen, a man of great influence and a secret ally in humanity's quest for freedom. Building the Alliance. Senator Jensen, a tall figure with a commanding presence, nodded as Lyra began to speak. "We have a window of opportunity, Senator. The Empire's arrogance has blinded them to our preparations. But we need more than just human resolve to challenge their dominance." Cale's eyes narrowed, his mind racing with the implications. "You're speaking of an alliance, Captain. One that includes other species willing to stand against the Empire." Lyra nodded. "Exactly. We've been in contact with several species who share our desire for freedom. The Cellari, despite their mocking demeanor in the Council, have factions that are secretly working against the Empire. The Cryonians, too, have expressed interest in joining our cause." Cale's expression turned thoughtful. "And what of the Zeridians? They possess technology that could be invaluable to our efforts." "We've made overtures to them," Lyra replied. "But they remain cautious. Their history with the Empire is complicated, and they fear retaliation if they openly support us." The Shadow Network. As they spoke, a holographic display flickered to life, showing a web of connections across the galaxy. This was the Shadow Network, a clandestine communication system that linked humanity's allies and operatives across the Empire's territories. "Senator, this network is our lifeline," Lyra explained. "Through it, we coordinate our efforts, share intelligence, and mobilize our forces. But it's not just about military might, we're also building a political front. We need to show the galaxy that we're not just rebels, but a legitimate force fighting for freedom and justice." Cale nodded, his eyes scanning the holographic map. "I see. And what's the status of our military preparations?" Lyra's gaze turned serious. "We're ready to strike at a moment's notice. Our sleeper agents are in place, and our fleets are positioned to maximize the impact of our first strike. But we need to ensure that our allies are prepared to act in concert with us." The alliance takes shape. Over the next few weeks, Lyra and Cale traveled across the galaxy, meeting with representatives from various species. They forged bonds, negotiated alliances, and coordinated strategies. The Cellari, despite their initial reluctance, agreed to provide crucial intelligence on the Empire's internal workings. The Cryonians pledged their advanced technology, which would be instrumental in disrupting the Empire's communication networks. As the alliance grew, so did its strength. The Zeridians, seeing the determination and unity of the other species, finally agreed to join, bringing with them powerful energy shields and advanced propulsion systems. The Empire's first glimpse. Meanwhile, within the Empire's intelligence circles, whispers began to circulate about a growing rebellion. High Chancellor Valtor, still dismissive of humanity's capabilities, nonetheless ordered increased surveillance and patrols in key sectors. But the Empire's efforts were too little, too late. The Shadow Alliance had already set its plans in motion. Lyra and Kale, along with their allies, were ready to unleash a storm upon the Empire, one that would shake its foundations and challenge its dominance over the galaxy. As the stars aligned in favor of the rebels, the stage was set for a conflict that would determine the fate of countless worlds and civilizations. The Empire, confident in its power, was about to face a challenge it had never anticipated, a challenge that would test its strength, its unity, and its very existence. In the heart of the Empire's capital, a young and ambitious officer named Lieutenant Aaron Vex began to sense that something was amiss. Aaron, known for her sharp instincts and analytical mind, had been tasked with monitoring unusual activity across the galaxy. She noticed a pattern of subtle disturbances, whispers of a rebellion that seemed to be spreading. Aaron's findings were met with skepticism by her superiors, but she remained convinced that the Empire was on the cusp of a major crisis. She decided to dig deeper, using her access to classified information to uncover the truth behind the growing unrest. As Aaron delved into the mystery, she found herself drawn into a world of intrigue and deception, where loyalty and betrayal walked a thin line. Her quest for knowledge would soon place her at the forefront of the conflict, forcing her to choose between her duty to the Empire and her growing sense of justice. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, as the Shadow Alliance prepared to strike and the Empire readied its defenses. The coming war would be a clash of ideologies, a test of strength and willpower that would leave no corner of the universe untouched. The Hidden Arsenal. Introduction. Deep within the heart of the asteroid belt, a secret facility known as Nova Haven hummed with activity. This was humanity's most advanced research and development center, hidden from the prying eyes of the Galactic Empire. Here, Engineer Jackson Vash and Admiral Lila Orion oversaw the final preparations for humanity's most ambitious military project yet. The Arsenal unveiled. Jackson, a brilliant mind with a passion for innovation, stood before a massive hangar filled with sleek, advanced ships. Each vessel was equipped with cutting-edge technology, designed to counter the Empire's superior firepower. Admiral Orion, a seasoned military leader, walked alongside him, her eyes scanning the array of ships with a mix of pride and concern. "These are our best hope," Jackson said, gesturing to the ships. "Each one has been outfitted with reverse-engineered Empire technology, combined with our own innovations. We've developed cloaking devices, advanced shields, and firepower that can match the Empire's." Lila nodded, her expression serious. "But we need more than just firepower. We need strategy and coordination. Our allies are in place, but we must ensure that our first strike is decisive." The strategy unfolds. In a nearby command center, a holographic display flickered to life, showing the Empire's military installations across the galaxy. Jackson and Lila joined Captain Lyra Flynn and Senator Cale Jensen, who had arrived from their clandestine meetings with other species. "Project Inferno is our key," Lyra explained. "We hit multiple targets simultaneously, using our sleeper agents to disable their defenses from within. The Empire will be caught off guard, unable to respond effectively." Cale nodded. "And once we've gained the upper hand, our allies will join the fight. The Cellari will provide intelligence, the Cryonians will disrupt their communications, and the Zeridians will supply us with advanced technology." The Arsenal's secret. Jackson led them to a hidden chamber deep within Nova Haven, where a massive, cylindrical ship dominated the space. This was the Aurora, humanity's most advanced vessel, equipped with a revolutionary propulsion system that could traverse vast distances in a fraction of the time. "The Aurora is our ace in the hole," Jackson said, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "With this ship, we can strike at the heart of the Empire before they even realize what's happening." Lila's gaze turned thoughtful. "But we must be cautious. The Empire has spies everywhere. If they discover the Aurora's existence, they'll stop at nothing to destroy it." The countdown begins. As the days passed, humanity's forces readied themselves for the impending battle. The Shadow Alliance was in place, sleeper agents were activated, and the military was on high alert. The stage was set for a conflict that would decide the fate of the galaxy. In the Empire's capital, High Chancellor Valtor remained confident, unaware of the storm brewing on the horizon. But whispers of dissent began to circulate among his advisors, some questioning the wisdom of underestimating humanity. As the clock ticked down to the moment of truth, humanity held its breath. The war was coming, and with it, the chance to forge a new destiny for the galaxy. The Empire's first glimpse of doubt. In the heart of the Empire, a young officer named Lieutenant Aaron Vex began to sense that something was amiss. She had been monitoring unusual activity across the galaxy, whispers of a rebellion that seemed to be spreading. Aaron's findings were met with skepticism by her superiors, but she remained convinced that the Empire was on the cusp of a major crisis. As Aaron delved deeper into the mystery, she found herself drawn into a world of intrigue and deception, where loyalty and betrayal walked a thin line. Her quest for knowledge would soon place her at the forefront of the conflict, forcing her to choose between her duty to the Empire and her growing sense of justice. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, as the Shadow Alliance prepared to strike and the Empire readied its defenses. The coming war would be a clash of ideologies, a test of strength and willpower that would leave no corner of the universe untouched. The Empire Strikes Back. Introduction. The Galactic Empire, still reeling from the bold warning delivered by Ambassador Zaralumin, had underestimated the resolve of humanity. High Chancellor Orion Valtor, confident in the Empire's superior might, decided to crush the human rebellion before it could gain momentum. General Thane Blackwood, a seasoned military leader known for his ruthless tactics, was chosen to lead the Empire's retaliation. The Empire's counterattack. General Blackwood stood before a holographic display in the Empire's Strategic Command Center, his eyes scanning the galaxy for signs of human activity. "We will not be threatened by these insolent humans," he declared to his officers. "Prepare our fleets for a full-scale assault on Earth and its colonies. We will show them the true meaning of power." The Empire's forces mobilized swiftly, their ships pouring out of hyperspace like a dark tide. They targeted key human colonies, aiming to cripple humanity's ability to wage war. But the humans were not caught off guard, they had anticipated this response. Humanity's defense. Admiral Lila Orion, commanding humanity's defense forces, watched as the Empire's fleets approached. She knew that the key to victory lay not in direct confrontation but in strategic maneuvering. "Activate our cloaking technology," she ordered. "Let them think they have the upper hand." Humanity's ships, equipped with advanced stealth capabilities, vanished from the Empire's sensors. The Empire's forces, confused and disoriented, found themselves facing an enemy they could not see. The battle rages on. The war raged across the galaxy, with both sides suffering heavy losses. General Blackwood's tactics were brutal, but humanity's determination and cunning allowed them to hold their ground. The Empire's superior numbers were countered by humanity's strategic use of sleeper agents and sabotage. As the conflict escalated, Princess Nia Valtor, the High Chancellor's daughter, began to question her father's actions. She saw the devastation wrought by the war and wondered if the Empire's dominance was worth the cost. Internal dissent. Princess Niev approached her father in his chambers, her voice laced with concern. "Father, must we continue this war? The humans are not the weaklings we once thought them to be. They fight with a ferocity that is admirable, and their tactics are unpredictable." High Chancellor Valtor's expression turned cold. You would have me show mercy to those who dare challenge us. The Empire does not bend to the whims of its enemies. We will crush them, and all will know our power. Niev's eyes filled with a mix of sadness and resolve. I fear for the future of our empire, Father. This war may be our downfall. The turning point. As the war reached its climax, humanity launched a daring assault on one of the Empire's key strongholds. The battle was fierce, with both sides trading blows. But humanity's strategy, combined with the Empire's internal dissent, began to shift the tide of the war. General Blackwood's forces were caught off guard by a surprise attack from within their own ranks. Sleeper agents, activated by humanity, sabotaged the Empire's command structures, causing chaos and confusion. The Empire's grip on the galaxy began to slip, and for the first time, they faced the possibility of defeat. The stage was set for a final confrontation that would decide the fate of the galaxy. In the shadows, Captain Lyra Flynn and Senator Cale Jensen watched as the war unfolded. They knew that the Empire's downfall was not just a matter of military victory but also of political maneuvering. They worked tirelessly to ensure that when the Empire fell, a new order would rise, one that would bring peace and freedom to the galaxy. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, as humanity and the Empire clashed in a struggle that would leave no corner of the universe untouched. The coming days would be filled with bloodshed and betrayal, but also with hope and the promise of a new dawn. The final confrontation. Introduction. The war between humanity and the Galactic Empire had reached its climax. Ambassador Zara Lumen, Captain Lyra Flynn, and High Chancellor Orion Valtor were about to face each other in a final, decisive battle. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, as both sides prepared for a confrontation that would determine who would rule the stars. The battle begins. In the heart of the Empire's capital, a massive fleet assembled under General Thane Blackwood's command. The Empire's ships, a mix of sleek cruisers and lumbering dreadnoughts, formed a formidable force. Meanwhile, humanity's fleet, led by Admiral Lila Orion, emerged from the shadows of the asteroid belt. Their ships, equipped with advanced cloaking technology and reverse-engineered Empire weapons, were ready to challenge the Empire's dominance. The battle commenced as both fleets clashed in a spectacular display of firepower and strategy. The Empire's superior numbers were countered by humanity's cunning and advanced technology. Captain Lyra Flynn led a daring assault on the Empire's flagship, using her knowledge of the Empire's tactics against them. The turning point. As the battle raged on, Princess Niamh Valtor, who had grown increasingly disillusioned with her father's leadership, made a bold decision. She secretly contacted Captain Lyra Flynn, offering her support and crucial information about the Empire's defenses. With this newfound advantage, humanity's forces gained the upper hand. The Empire's ships began to falter, their command structures disrupted by the combined efforts of humanity's sleeper agents and Princess Niamh's betrayal. The final confrontation. High Chancellor Valtor, enraged by his daughter's betrayal, confronted her on the bridge of his flagship. "You would side with our enemies," he thundered, his anger and disappointment evident. Niamh stood firm, her voice steady. "I side with justice, Father. The Empire's reign of terror must end. It's time for a new era of peace and cooperation." Valtor's expression twisted in fury, but before he could act, Captain Lyra Flynn appeared, flanked by Ambassador Zara Lumen and Admiral Lila Orion. "It's over, Chancellor," Lyra declared. "Your empire is crumbling. Surrender now, and we might spare your life." The Empire's fall. Valtor sneered, but the reality of his situation was clear. His fleets were in disarray, his defenses breached, and his own daughter had turned against him. With a heavy heart, he realized that the Empire's time had come to an end. In a symbolic gesture, Valtor stepped down, acknowledging defeat. The Galactic Empire, once the most powerful force in the galaxy, began to dissolve. Its territories were freed, and a new era of peace and cooperation dawned on the stars. The New Order. In the aftermath of the war, humanity and its allies worked tirelessly to establish a new order. The Shadow Alliance became the foundation of a galactic government, one that valued freedom, justice, and cooperation. Ambassador Zara Lumen and Captain Lyra Flynn were hailed as heroes, their names etched in history as the leaders who brought down the Empire and ushered in a new age of peace. As the galaxy began to heal, Princess Nia Valtor played a crucial role in rebuilding and reconciling the former Empire's territories. She worked closely with humanity's leaders, ensuring that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated. The story of humanity's struggle against the Galactic Empire became a legend, a reminder of the power of determination and unity in the face of overwhelming odds. And as the stars shone brighter than ever before, the galaxy looked forward to a future filled with hope and endless possibility. In this new era, humanity had finally found its place among the stars, a place not of dominance, but of equality and peace. The legacy of the war would live on, a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the unbreakable bonds forged in the fire of adversity.